March 18, 1944, 24,000 feet over the Ruhr Valley, Germany. The Mustang is already dying when the first shell punches through the left wing. The sound is not an explosion so much as a violent tearing, metal shrieking, as if the air itself has teeth. The cockpit fills with the sharp stink of cordite and hot oil. The Merlin engine coughs once, twice, then roars unevenly, shaking the entire airframe like a wounded animal refusing to fall. Flak bursts blossom around him, black, oily flowers against a hard blue sky. You can almost hear them before you see them, a deep, concussive thump that presses against the chest, even through layers of flight gear and oxygen mask. The P-51D shudders. The control stick goes loose in his hand, then stiff, then loose again. Warning lights bloom red across the instrument panel. He is an ace. 5 confirmed kills painted in neat black crosses beneath the cockpit rail. Months of escort duty behind him, hours of shepherding bombers through this exact sky, past this exact river, into this exact storm of steel. He knows the sound of damage. He knows when an airplane is still flyable. This one is not. A second hit detonates near the radiator scoop. White steam erupts, instantly swallowed by orange flame. The temperature spikes. The cockpit becomes a furnace. Paint bubbles, plexiglass crazes, spiderweb cracks racing across the canopy. Fire, he mutters into the mask, voice flat, professional. There's no one on the radio now. The squadron scattered seconds ago, Mustangs wheeling and diving through flak and contrails, chasing shadows and survival. His wingman is gone, either chasing a bandit or already falling. The Mustang yaws violently left. The nose drops. Wind howls through new holes torn in the fuselage, a banshee scream that rattles teeth and bones. His gloved hand slaps the canopy release. Nothing. Smoke thickens, acrid and choking. It burns the eyes, seeps into the mask. The oxygen line hisses uselessly. He can feel heat through the seat, through layers of cloth and leather. Fire crawls along the cockpit wall like something alive, hungry. Altitude unwinds fast. 22,021. He kicks at the canopy again, harder this time, boots slamming into plexiglass slick with condensation and soot. On the third kick, the canopy tears free, ripped away by the slipstream in a violent wrench that nearly breaks his neck. Instantly the cold slams into him, brutal, absolute. The roar of the wind becomes deafening. Before we go further, make sure you're subscribed. We share incredible true war stories every day. He doesn't hesitate now. Training takes over. Throttle back, harness off, one hand on the cockpit rim. He throws himself up and out. The Mustang flashes past beneath him, a burning spear plunging toward the earth. For half a heartbeat, there is weightlessness. Then the slipstream grabs him like a fist. He counts automatically, 1, 2. The parachute deploys with a brutal jerk that snaps his body upright. Straps bite into shoulders and thighs. The sudden silence is shocking, wind reduced to a steady rush, the violent chaos replaced by cold, empty air. Below him, the Mustang is still falling. And then the chute snatches again, harder this time, sideways. His body swings violently, lines twist. He spins, disoriented, and sees flame rushing up at him. The parachute has snagged. A length of shroud line has caught on the Mustang's tail, wrapped tight around twisted metal. The burning aircraft drags him with it, yanking him downward, back toward the fire he just escaped. The distance between man and machine collapses in seconds. Heat washes over him. The roar returns, louder now, a screaming inferno. The Mustang's fuselage is a torch, flames tearing backward along the skin, licking at the parachute lines. The fabric above him flutters dangerously close to the fire. He kicks frantically, boots hammering at empty air. The spin tightens. G-forces press him outward, trying to tear him from his harness. His gloved hands claw at the risers, at the tangled lines, but the wind is too strong, the motion too violent. The chute begins to burn. You can almost hear the fabric tearing, a dry ripping sound lost in the roar of the fall. One shroud line snaps, then another. The canopy deforms, collapsing partially, flaring again as the remaining lines strain. He is being reeled into his own plane. The Mustang bucks as a wing finally tears free, spinning the wreck into a tumbling cartwheel. The sudden change slams him sideways, smashing his helmet against the fuselage. For a moment, his vision goes white. Fire engulfs the space between them. Flames roar up the side of the aircraft, washing over him. Heat becomes pain, raw, immediate. His flight suit chars. The oxygen mask melts against his face. He screams, the sound ripped away by wind and fire. Instinct drives his hands to the quick release. He fumbles, fingers numb, leather slick with sweat and smoke. The mechanism won't move, twisted under load, jammed by force no human hand can overcome. Altitude is bleeding away, 15,014. The ground is visible now, patchwork fields, rivers like dark veins, the distant smudge of industrial towns. It is all coming up too fast. The parachute canopy above him ignites fully. Flame races across silk and nylon, consuming it in seconds. Burning fragments tear free, spiraling past his face. The remaining lines snap in rapid succession, sharp cracks like rifle shots. For a fraction of a second, he is still tethered, dangling inches from the Mustang's burning skin. Then the final line burns through. He drops. The sudden release flings him backward, spinning end over end. The world becomes sky, fire, ground, sky again. The ruined Mustang plunges away beside him, finally free, finally alone, disappearing into a column of black smoke. Silence returns, broken only by the whistle of air past his body. He is falling without a parachute. There is no panic now, just shock and cold and an odd, distant calm. He feels strangely light, disconnected. The ground rushes closer, terrifyingly detailed. Individual trees resolve, roads, a river bend. Then something jerks him again, hard enough to knock the breath from his lungs. The reserve chute. Triggered automatically by the violent separation, the reserve deploys in a half-inflated blossom. It isn't perfect. Lines are scorched. The canopy is torn along one edge, but it catches enough air to slow him, enough to turn a fatal plunge into a survivable descent. He hangs there, spinning gently, smoke trailing from his clothes. His face burns. His hands are raw and blistered. He can smell himself, burnt leather, burnt hair, burnt fabric. Below, the Mustang hits the ground in a distant, thunderous explosion. A column of flame and smoke claws upward, marking the end of a machine that carried him across half of Europe and nearly into death. He lands hard in a muddy field at the edge of a forest, the impact driving the air from his lungs. Pain flares through legs and spine. He lies still for a moment, staring up at the sky he just fell from, watching bits of ash drift down like black snow. The war doesn't stop for him. Distant engines drone overhead, bombers pressing on, fighters circling like hawks. Somewhere nearby, German troops will have seen the smoke, the parachute, the fall. Dogs will be unleashed, trucks will roll. He forces himself up, muscles screaming. One leg doesn't want to cooperate. He drags it anyway, limping toward the tree line, every breath a rasp of pain and smoke. The forest swallows him, dark and damp and silent. The smell of burning gives way to wet earth and pine. He collapses behind a fallen log, finally allowing himself to feel everything at once: the terror, the pain, the disbelief. He survived something that should not be survivable. Hours later, they find him. Wehrmacht infantry, cautious and professional, rifles leveled. He doesn't resist. There's no strength left for that. As they pull him to his feet, one of them stares at the scorched remains of his flight suit, at the melted harness buckles, and shakes his head slowly. The pilot will spend the rest of the war in captivity, hospital, then Stalag Luft. His burns will heal, the scars will not. At night, he will wake drenched in sweat, feeling again the tug of the chute, the pull of the fire, the sensation of being dragged back into death by the machine he trusted with his life. After the war, when the story circulates among airmen, it sounds impossible. A parachute snagging a burning aircraft, lines burning through at the last second, a reserve opening just in time, statistically absurd, mechanically improbable. But war is full of such moments, where chance and physics and human endurance collide in ways no manual can predict. High above the Ruhr Valley, a man jumped from a dying plane and was nearly pulled back into it. Fire tried to claim him twice. Gravity tried to finish the job. And still, he lived. We tell stories like this every day. Subscribe and stay ready for the next one.